The tracks of NASCAR on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel.
All right, everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rance, Buzzy Heidel in here. No Joel Davis, as JD will take the week off. So we'll talk a little golf because we got the Buzz Man with us. But we got Andrew Lopez joining us, hour number one. Andrew, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty
rocking
good.
the Tiger Woods red.
Yeah,
Championship Sunday.
I heard we were talking about golf, so I know there's no black in here, but I know it's a red shirt. I got that much covered.
So Andrew will be with us, talk a little LSU, Saints, a little bit of everything. But you're not going to be you're only living in Baton Rouge for another few weeks, right? And then you're heading.
Maybe. I hope it's shorter than that.
Yeah, I mean, when are you heading back to New Orleans? You're going to be covering the Pelicans full time.
Yeah, Pels. They have media day September 24th. The training camp opens on the 25th. I'll be back down there for that. But we're still going through the hiring process over at NOLA.com. So maybe this is my last game this weekend. Maybe La Tech's my last game. Maybe Ole Miss is my last game.
But you're definitely going to move over to
I'll
Pelicans.
I'll be gone about a week and a half or so.
So the good news is that you're a New Orleanian, so you get to go home. I know you're excited about that, but also you love hoops.
Oh yeah, basketball is my thing. I've always been a basketball guy. I coached basketball in high school when I was teaching before I started writing full time. So and the chance to get to kind of watch Anthony Davis for, I won't say 82 games, maybe 78 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely take that any day of the week.
So Andrew and I have a lot in common, basketball guys. Being basketball guys.
yes. What team does Anthony Davis play for, Buzz?
The Wildcats, Kentucky Wildcats.
there you go. But
he's not wrong.
Right.
So we'll delve in. We'll get into a little bit of Pelicans at the end of the show. Let you give us a take on the upcoming season. It's a shame they're in the Western Conference. That's the one thing. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. But let's lead off the show and talk New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
I was joking earlier before we went on the show with Buzzy. I am not the best gambler. Anybody that's listened or watched Sports Shorts over the last few years will tell you. If they followed my advice, they're losing money.
Yeah,
because I've lost money for whatever reason. But the minute we just pick games and there's no money on the line, I'm Jimmy the Greek. You know what I mean? Like I can pick some games, but if we bet anything, for whatever reason, the tide turns. Like, for example, I'll give you an example: the LSU Miami football game, week 1. The under was screaming to me. I mean, like it was like giving you money with a 47 or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, it was screaming. It's ridiculous. Like the under, of course, no team's going to score more than 20 points, 24 points. And probably it's going to be a 17-14 slugfest. There's not anybody in the country that had a score with a team in the 30s. What happens? The over.
Miami forgets to play defense.
Yeah, I mean, LSU scores 33, and then they give up 2 big old plays in the fourth.
The thing about that is you still could have had the under if LSU doesn't start resting guys in the fourth quarter.
33-3 going to the fourth quarter. We got a little bit of nervousness because we know they're going to get at least one touchdown.
Greedy was out. Devin White was out. They was trying to rest some guys. Some guys had some cramping issues. So and then they get it on 2 deep passes. So you still could have had it, and then of course, football.
So of course that meant I worked for free for CST that day in Dallas. Because I really love the under. Trust me, I really love the under.
This is a bad sign because I really love the under this week.
I really love the Saints at home. Week 1 against Tampa Bay with a backup quarterback in the dome, 11-5 a year ago, a freak play away from the NFC Championship game. Drew, has got the weapons. We're talking about the backup quarterback, and we're talking about, third string linebackers. We know who the starters are. They got a good defense. They're going to be a top 10 defense in the league. 48 points they give up. And, oh, by the way, people forget they missed a field goal. They should have given them 51.
That was shocking, to say the least. I know a lot of people who they picked the Saints in survivor pools.
30% of
they're
the
out.
30%
They can buy
of the
back in,
country.
though, right? We can't.
30% of the country picked the Saints in survivor pools.
We don't
in
do
some
that
of the
buyback.
polls.
No buyback, for like a double, which you bought in for originally. Must not be the
really a survivor.
Must
pool
not be the
Lanois. They're all about making money. Langwine Insurance boys. So I mean, how does this happen?
It's because you're putting money on it. You got to not put money on things.
But here's the, I mean, no one saw this coming, right?
No.
I mean, the Saints at home against the Tampa Bay Bucks. You're worried about Carolina. You're worried about Atlanta. You're not worried about Tampa and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I saw some people at least picking Tampa to cover.
Okay.
I know it got to
yeah, because I mean,
up around 9.
anytime
10.
the line is 9 or 10 in the NFL, you got to look at the dog.
So you were taking the dog, but no one I think saw 48 points from the Bucks. I don't even think the Bucks saw 48 points coming from the Bucks.
That's what I'm thinking too. It's almost like, was this just a facade? Because I mean, the Saints are going to be good offensively. Are they going to get? They're not going to give up 48 points every single game. And I mean, to Tampa Bay, they may not score 48 points in the next 3 games combined. I mean, so I think you got to pump the brakes, big guy. I know you got the Saints black and gold undershirt over there, but just take it easy. You and Gus Rance, your brother.
But here's the thing: is that. I had expectations of the Saints winning 10, 11, 12 games this year, hosting a playoff game, being one of the top, I thought one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. They're not one of the top 3 teams in the NFC because I believe this defense, you don't accidentally give up 51 points at home. He should have made the field goal.
What was their record last year?
11-5.
What did they start out?
0-2. And the defense was atrocious.
That's all I want to say.
You're dropping the mic on that, really? That's what you're going with? We're going to have a repeat performance from a year ago?
Every year,
I agree.
They always have the one game
Yeah.
that you go back and you look at their schedule and you're like, even in the winning years, I'm not talking about the 7 and 9 years. In the winning years, they always have one game that you look at the schedule and you're like, what? How did they lose that?
Wasn't it the Browns like a couple years ago?
It was
Speaking
the
of the Browns coming up,
by the way,
coming up. I mean,
that was Rob Ryan was that.
That's
defensive
right.
Coordinator
That's
that year.
absolutely correct.
It was so every year it's one. The thing that doesn't make me panic is the fact that Marshawn Lattimore, who was so good last year, had 2 or 3 missteps in that game. Marcus Williams had everybody screwed up in that game where you possibly could. Now, if it happens against the Browns this week, okay, then I'll
calls for concern.
I'll press the red button. Right now, I'll go with being overconfident for that first game kind of cost you.
I think another concern too is, as you say, they're so good in the dome. The Saints are so good in the dome when they get on the road, and their schedule is not an easy one this year.
Yeah.
When they
First
get away
2 at home, last 2 at home.
When they get away
8 to 12 on the road.
when they get away from the dome, they just don't play as well. It's just tougher, And so that I think that's a concern too, Ronnie. Is you got to win those games when you got them in the dome, that home crowd against not a great opponent.
I can't see a scenario where, by the way, Marshawn Lattimore, who was the Rookie of the Year last year in defensive side, all
PFF,
pro,
every accolade you could throw at him.
He got toasted.
Yeah, by Mike Evans.
I mean, toasted.
Yeah.
I mean, not one time. I mean, people can always mess up, double move, look inside, get burnt one time. He got beat throughout the game. Crawley needs to be released. I mean, it was that bad.
The problem
You sound like Joel Davis now.
It was. You were playing a lot of golf Sunday. It was that bad.
It was not pretty. I won't say.
It was that bad. I mean,
It was not
Crawley was
pretty.
getting beat like Stephen F. Austin playing LSU type of cornerback. Look outclassed.
The problem was, I mean, he's not a fast guy, and when you're putting him one-on-one with who I don't care how old he is, Deshaun Jackson is still one of the fastest players in the NFL. You can't put him one-on-one with those types of guys. It's one step and Deshaun is gone. Those were the plays that they were getting burned on, where you were only having one safety on top. You can't do that when you have a speed guy like that. Your pass rush wasn't getting the rush that you thought they were going to get, so you could play the one safety look. So everything looked bad, and I guess if I'm a Saints fan and I'm looking at it, I'm going, there's no way I can play that horrible. Every line, the defensive line, the linebackers, the DBs. There's no way everybody can be that bad again. You'll see how it looks on Sunday against the Browns, but
Well, we'll find out something. The Browns didn't look good. Tyrod Taylor, because he's not Tyrod anymore. He let. By the way, I'm gonna tell you about this. You know this from covering the media and then getting people's names and pronunciations and stuff. Okay, so we found out after years that Tyrod Taylor's real name is Tyrod. Okay. It reminds me of this story, which is bizarre. Back 2005, it was right before you got LSU baseball. They had a player, Nick Stavanoa. Okay,
played in the big
Nick
leagues.
Stavanoa played 3 years at LSU. Great hitter on the Smokes 2 World Series team. Smoke Laval's 2 World Series team. Got to the big leagues with the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, amazingly that he got to the big leagues. I mean, he's one of those guys like, wow, I didn't think he'd get to the big leagues.
He was a big, strong cat, though.
Big, strong cat. Didn't know really where he was going to play. Didn't know he'd hit. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Shane Newman. The fact that they both got to the big leagues is great. You know, I find out he's been at LSU 3 years now because he transferred after his freshman year, junior college. I find out at LSU his last year when Lynn Rollins and I are doing a game for the millionth time. I'm talking to him in BP that his name is not Stavanoa. It's Stavanaugh.
No.
Stavanaugh.
You cut it off. No.
Stavanaugh. And I said, why did you let people call you by the wrong name for all these years? He's like, I didn't really care. So I'm watching. So I said, so your name is Stavanaugh, not Stavanoa. And so Lynn and I, for the next 2 games, got it right? I'm watching ESPN a few years later. He's in the big leagues, gets a base hit, knocking a run. They're doing the highlights. Nick Stavanoa. I mean, they pronounced the guy's name wrong. He didn't get it. It's unbelievable.
My mom would have she'd have emailed anybody at that point. She'd have stopped. When I first started writing I went to Loyola. I wrote for the Maroon. When I first started writing, I was like, hey, Mom, I'm gonna write for the school paper. The first thing she told me was, if you put Andy Lopez in that newspaper, I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
That's not what I call you. And I was like, whoa, Mom. Chill.
Right.
And ever since then, it's always been Andrew Lopez. And if somebody will ask me, who do you like, Andrew or Andy? I was like, well, if it's going in print, it's going to say Andrew.
Well, you know,
moms are big on the name and what you can call them and what you can't call them.
And, you know, the Stavanoa thing obviously was in the days of pre Twitter, because in Twitter, people don't let you get away with calling people the wrong name.
You'd have figured that out 2 seconds into the game.
All right, he's Andy/Andrew Lopez. He's Buzzy Heidel. I'm Ronnie Jumbo Rants. We'll be back with Sports Shorts. Don't go anywhere.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
But, you're in there tonight,
Okay.
so you're staying in there.
So time
Joel,
out.
though, might have to go.
So time out. I
He
mean,
only
look, I
does-
know I've been a little incognito,
Yeah.
in and out,
Yeah.
here, there, golf.
Joel's the
you know.
30-minute guy.
Well, Joel Davis, has that guy? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't get text messages. I mean, not even for insurance stuff anymore. So that's real weird.
Oh, we ever got issues then.
Maybe he's going a different route. I don't
You
know.
think he's doing
I mean,
insurance with somebody else? Because you do insurance. Tell the folks what you do
Yeah,
in insurance.
absolutely. Heidel Wamskin with the Morris Insurance Group. We do all your auto, home, life, anything you need insured. Just give us a call.
You need to get Andy Lopez's number
Yeah, I'll
before
get
you
it.
go.
Into mom insurance agent is going to throw that. She's going to cancel that like she canceled the Andy in a newspaper.
Let me throw that number out there: 225-931-8531. But
931-8531.
that's
Give
right.
Buzzy a call.
It's a good thing though, because that means he's not locking. It's two things. He's either got another guy, which I still got his auto, so he can't have another guy, or he's not locking his keys in his car as much.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need the roadside assistance.
He'll be back here next week. He apologized profusely. He had daddy duty with daughter, whatever.
But I mean, this is his time. The Saints. I mean, this is his time to shine.
But fortunately, we upgraded. We got Andrew Lopez sitting in with us of NOLA.com. Andrew will be covering LSU for just a little bit longer, but then you'll be reading about him on covering the Pelicans this year, going back home to New Orleans, going to be on that Pelican beat. Give me a little bit on the Pelicans. I mean, is there any scenario where anybody not named Houston and Golden State can win the West?
I don't see it. I mean, but this is a league where injuries happen, and injuries can change the course of anything. I mean, you look at Golden State's titles, and some would argue, there's an injury each year that has led to them winning, whether it was Kyrie getting hurt in the finals, Kevin Love already getting hurt that year, Kawhi getting hurt 2 years ago, or Chris Paul pulling his hamstring off in last year's conference finals. So injuries can always happen, and you got to be ready. It's a stacked Western Conference. You could argue of the top 16 teams in the league, maybe 11 or 12 are probably out west if you were going, just ranking 1 through 30. You kind of wish if you were the Pels, you wish you were out east right now, but you still have Anthony Davis, who is a top 3, top 5 NBA player, no matter how you slice it. He's been healthy the past 2 years, healthier, 75 games in each of the last 2 seasons. Drew Holiday really took a step forward last year when DeMarcus Cousins went out. He kind of unlocked that next level to his game, ends up getting all NBA first-team defense. If he can play the way he played last year and AD plays the way he plays, it kind of just helps you when you have a lot of money tied up in the 3 spot that you would like to kind of get moved, and you can kind of do some different things after that.
So not besides Holiday and Davis, they made some off-season moves. Who are the 2 or 3 other players that you like on this team that are going to make or break their season?
Well, let's go back to last year's trade deadline when they pull off and they get Niko Mirotic.
Unbelievable.
Who is a completely different player post-beard, by the way.
Incredible.
The clean-shaven Niko is ridiculous. He can play that 4 when Anthony Davis moves to the 5 and play it very well. He does the little dirty things, but still can shoot.
If he plays like that for a whole year, they
have home court, and he's
unbelievable.
He's setting himself up real nice. And what they've gone and done this year is instead of having DeMarcus Cousins, where they thought they were going to have him, they went out and got Julius Randle, who is a completely different player in the sense of he's not a 7-foot, 260 guy who's going to bang. He's not a shooter like DeMarcus is. But what it does is it allows him to play the 5 defensively and offensively, and Anthony Davis can play that 4, which he prefers. Now, when they want to crank up the speed, then AD slides to the 5, but he doesn't have to play the entire game.
Right, which is big for his legs and his whole season.
He wants to be a 4. He doesn't want to play 5 all game. He doesn't want to have to bang against some of those centers. He'll take defensive matchups when they come to him, but Randle is going to be a big part of it. I would see AD starting at the 4, Randle playing at the 5, and Niko coming off the bench where he could play both of those spots. Maybe some lineups where Niko could play the 3, or there's some things you can do.
Anthony Davis, 2 years left on his deal?
2 years left on the deal with there's a player option on that last one, but he's not going to use it.
I'm curious. I can't wait to have you back on the show maybe halfway through the year after you've been around him and get a feel for him and, can get as close to him as you possibly can with, to get a feel for if this guy has any shot of working out a long-term deal with New Orleans.
I will say this. I covered the Pels for about half a season, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I guess the year before I started covering LSU. So that 15-16 season, I covered him for about half a year. When I was there, I got to know some people around him, and they were very much all about he wants to build his brand in New Orleans. Now, he can want to do that all he wants, but if the pieces around him don't fit,
Right.
he's going to look to leave. When he is eligible to sign his Supermax deal, because he's been on so many first teams, he's going to be able to sign for 5 years around probably $250 when it's all said and done. That is about $50 to $60 million more than any other team is going to be able to offer him.
But and listen, I'm not an ignorant enough person to think that 50 million or 60 million isn't 50 or 60 million.
Right.
But 250 or 200 when you already got 200, like at some point he's going to fall in line like LeBron and everybody else and go, I want the ring.
It's all about that. And if they can do the right moves to keep him here and he feels like he can win here, he'll stay. If not, he's going to go because
the Marcus Cousins move hurt that.
No.
They're not that close to where that was an issue.
He was not. He would have obviously have liked DeMarcus to stay because he doesn't want to play the 5.
Right.
But it tells you.
It's more about not wanting to play the 5 than Cousins.
Yeah. And what you saw as soon as it happened, when the Lakers released Julius Randle to make room to clear the cap space just in case somebody else was going to go there, whether it be Boogie or somebody else. AD was the first person on the phone calling Julius Randle multiple times in like a 12-hour span. Okay, you're coming here, right? Okay, you're coming here, right? Okay, you're coming here, right? So he got the guy that he wanted next to him.
Right.
He just wants to win. Can he do that in the West where right now in this climate, it's going to be tough with Houston and Golden State. They lose Rajon Rondo. They replace him with Elfrid Payton. That's probably a step down, but Elfrid is back home. Elfrid still fits what Alvin Gentry wants to do. He gets to the goal. He can finish in the lane. He can guard the 1 or 2. Drew can do the 1 or 2. So you have some flexibility. It's not the high profile of Rondo Cousins, but it may be better fits with Elfrid and Julius Randle.
Well, you just kind of answered the question I was going to ask you about. Do you think what we received to what they gave away with Rondo and Cousins was is it going to be a better move this year or a better team this year than next year? Not wins or losses, but just from a team standpoint, do you think they're better this year?
How did Rondo not sign? Like the guy, with the Pelicans. I mean, he played so well.
He gets a chance to go play with LeBron.
Yeah,
He's going to the Lakers.
But I mean, I get it. But I mean, like, how many 30 assist games did he have anywhere else, or 25 assist games? I mean, the guy was unbelievable at times.
Now, what you hear from the Lakers and that side is now LeBron was always ball dominant when he was with Miami, when he was with Cleveland. They're going to try to take a little bit of that off of him.
Well, they have to.
You have Lonzo. You have Rajon Rondo. You're bringing in playmakers. Everybody can kind of talk about, they're bringing in Lance Stevenson, but Lance can still handle the ball at the 3 spot. You're getting more ball handlers around LeBron. And, when he won a championship in Cleveland, he won it with Kyrie Irving. When he won in Miami, he had Dwayne Wade. He had another guy to take pressure off of him in late game situations. You knew, okay, the ball might go here now. The ball might go here. It may find its way back to LeBron, but the pressure was taken off of him to always be the play creator.
Right.
See, I think he's too unselfish at times. He needs to, he needs to get, shoot the rock.
When you have other
Kobe
guys,
Bryant it sometimes.
When you have other guys out there who can get it to you,
sure,
then you can start to focus on that instead of being a guy who just takes it.
So
and
from a
goes
personnel
84 feet.
standpoint, are the Pelicans better this year than last year?
Not right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so.
You can't say you lost Cousins and Rondo.
Yeah, it'd be better for
it. The thing that you have to wait out and see. I still think they're a 6 or 7 seed. I still think they're going to be in the fight for the playoffs. They're one injury away, obviously, from things going bad. Dell probably makes a move or two during the season, but the unit at the end of the year, because really all you're missing off the team at the end of the year is Rajon Rondo, but you're losing his leadership. You need to see somebody else take leadership. Now, what AD has done in the last 2 years, and that's what I'm really interested to see, is how he's a different leader from the guy I saw in 2015-16 to the guy he is right now in 2018-19. He's the older guy now. He's been in the league 7 years. So now it is his time to make that his team. Everybody knows, he finished 3rd in the MVP voting last year. Finished with 28, 11, and 3. So they know what kind of player he is, and if they can open it up and play that pace that they played in January to April, they can be better. Right now, it remains to be seen because of what Rondo brought to them. But I do think Randle is a better fit with the AD-Nico situation than Cousins would have.
Talking to Andrew Lopez a little bit about the NBA and the Pelicans because, of course, he covers the Pelicans for NOLA.com. And we'll be doing that full-time in a couple weeks. While we got him in Baton Rouge, we want to have him on the show. So appreciate him taking his time. One last basketball thing before we get back to football. Put your, Nostradamus hat on. Do you think? How do you think the Anthony Davis thing's going to play out? He's got 2 years left on his deal.
I would think that he would re-sign for the 5,250.
You think they'll give him a plan of these are the other parts we're going to try to go after?
And if it doesn't work after that, then maybe when he's he'll find a way to. I mean, he signs it right now. I think he's 26. He can get out of it at some point.
So sometime in his 30s, you think he signs the next deal?
I think he'll sign
and then the next one may not be the one that he.
They're going to push hard, but I think I know it's when it's 250 to 190. It's hard, but 60 million to 60 million. I don't.
You got to get in there on that insurance, man. I mean, the guy's about to sign a 5-year 250.
We got to do.
You got to get in.
We got to do something. I mean, the big house. We got to insure it all. I just wanted to tell Andrew, I am excited about you going down to cover the Pelicans because I watch. And I know I'm not a basketball guy, but and Ronnie will tell you this. I watched more basketball this last playoff year in one playoff year or weeks than I did my entire 31 years before that on this planet. So, I mean, the New Orleans Pelicans, that was exciting to watch, and it was exciting for the state.
When the Smoothie King Center is rocking, New Orleans can be as good a basketball town as any. The problem is they don't show up until January.
Yeah, that's true.
They got to wait for another season to end. And if they're losing, they're not showing up.
Not going to come.
Yeah. They'll support a winner.
We'll stay on bourbon.
Yeah.
They basically have to stay in the playoff race until January, and then they'll
get in that race, and then you'll start to see the 16, 17, 18,000
And then, fortunately, Mardi Gras is later this year.
Mardi Gras is a lot
last week, first week of March, right? I think the first week of March, so they could focus on basketball for a couple months and give them a chance to get things going. All right, Andrew Lopez, Ronnie Rance, Buzzy Heidel. We'll take a break. We'll come back on Sports Shorts. We'll delve into the LSU Tigers, 2-0, but not anybody when the national media at ESPN's giving them any chance of beating Auburn. We'll see what these guys think right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
Relief Window Experience. Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
ESPN Baton Rouge.
Well, we wanted a little flavor, so we replaced Joel with Andrew Lopez. That's him in the red shirt, Tiger Woods red. Got Buzzy Heidel, our resident best golfer on the set. I'm Ronnie Rance. Talk a little LSU football this time around. I'll ask you, Andrew, you cover the Tigers. You had expectations of what this team might look like through the first 2 weeks. How has reality met what you thought you were going to see?
I thought I would have seen a better efficiency from the offense so far. Defense is what I expected. I don't think that anybody can think that the defense has done anything different. I mean, they gave up some big pass plays against Miami. A lot of that was on Miami's receivers, if we're being honest, which maybe outside of Ole Miss, maybe the best receivers LSU will face this year. Southeastern, you expected a shutout. You got a shutout. They had some bend, don't break moments late. Luckily, the backup center for Southeastern decided to sail a snap over the quarterback's head when Jacoby Stevens got caught 64 yards downfield. But I thought I'd see some better efficiency from the passing game. And it's hard to be efficient if you're Joe Burrow when you don't have time. You've looked at his numbers, and when he's been pressured, he's like 2 for 15 this year. When he's not pressured, he's completing like 70% of his passes. So he's doing a good job when he has time. The problem is he hardly ever has his time. And when he doesn't, if they're struggling, if Traore is struggling at right tackle, which he's not going to start there, Austin Deculus is going to start against Auburn. But they would have to chip. They'd have to take a running back. They'd have to take a tight end, and they'd have to use somebody to chip. Then you're only sending out 3 guys against 5 guys covering you. Yeah, that's going to be hard. I don't care if you're playing an FCS school or not. It's going to be hard if 5 are defending 3,
right,
no matter who it is. So you need to see some more production there. O has kind of talked about it. Yeah, these guys keep doing it in practice. They need to do it in a game. They need to get off on the ball. And, Joe has kind of held on to the ball a little long sometimes. But to me, I still think it'll be a better outlook if once they get some pass protection. If that happens this week, though, I don't know.
Buzz, Jacob Hester and others, Gordy Rush and others talked about how, when you play those non-conference games, those, FCS opponents, the old 1AA opponents, a lot of times there's a letdown factor. I want to ask you, being a former baseball player, and, baseball's different. You got 60-plus games a year in college. I don't get it. Because in college, you play 12, and look, if I'm the second team at LSU or I'm a backup, I'm a 3 or 4 star backup. I'm better than the Southeastern players. And you know what? I don't get on the field very much. So you should have the juice like crazy. But yet LSU came out flat, played flat, and it just gets chalked up to, well, you always have 1 or 2 of those a year. I don't understand when you only play 12 how you have any.
Well, it certainly is harder on the baseball side of it, Ron. I think it's a little more different than football just because, I forget, 2009, we played Nicholls State. We go in there and let's just say a coach on the staff right now, I'll leave it like that, who was a player with me that year, comes in and goes, "Oh, we play in Nicholls State this year? I didn't even know they had a baseball program." And just walks out. And of course, they beat us 3-1 that year. And so you gotta. I'm with you, Ronnie. You gotta strap it on especially in college. You only get so many of those. In football, the Miami game. It's become the first game of the season for LSU has become such a big event. You go to Dallas, or when they went to Wisconsin. Was it Houston maybe last year?
No,
or whatever?
they've done it all.
They've done it all. So
yeah.
it's all, and it's such an excitement. They're playing a great team, and they're usually a top 25. And then you come back and you got Southeastern at home for the first home game. And so I'm with you, Ronnie. I don't understand it, but I see how that happens with 18 to 22-year-old kids when you got Auburn, the first SEC game, looking.
Especially when the next opponent is Auburn. So you're starting off against number 8 Miami, who anybody can debate, maybe they weren't the number 8 team. They were still the number 8 team in the country. And you were hyped up for that game because everybody was picking against you. You come home for Southeastern. Nothing against the Lions, but
No,
it's an FCS opponent.
Exactly.
And then you're going to another top 10 opponent on the road. Yeah, I can most certainly see how you're looking past Southeastern. You didn't come out with the juice. Now, also in the second half, you took out a lot of your defensive line that was getting a lot of penetration. Again, going back to the offensive efficiency, you still want to see that, but you're looking ahead to Auburn. Those guys were looking at Auburn clips on their iPads this week.
Another factor, and Ronnie, you know this. I mean, I brought up the Nicholls State in baseball. Yeah. When you play against in-state schools, they want to, they wanted to go to LSU.
Yeah,
there's probably a bunch of those Southeastern guys that were, played at Santa Ma or played down the bayou, and wish they could have strapped it on and played. Now they get their chance to play in Tiger Stadium. Albeit not for the Tigers, but for their respective school.
And it's going to be the same way when Louisiana Tech comes here.
Absolutely. And they're a hell of a team. I mean, they got a good team.
That's a good offense.
That's
right
a bold team.
So they're going to feel the same way of guys who felt that they under recruited. They may have, this is the great spot for me. You wanted to be at LSU most of the time if you're an in-state player. There's 99% of players who grow up playing football in the state want to play for LSU at some point.
By the way, you mentioned Nicholls baseball earlier and who that coach was on the staff. Congratulations!
I didn't mention the coach.
No. We're going to leave that guy's name. He's from Florida. But
it's two of them.
I know. I know, Buzz.
I know you do. Now they 50% now. Though. Well, Coach Maneri's actually from Florida too.
Ryan, I'm from Florida. But I would say that. Colonels a couple weeks ago go on the road, beat Kansas. First time they went and beat a Big 12 team like that. And then Kansas actually went on the road and won a game, so they showed they're not bad. Tulane humbled Nicholls at home last Saturday, which was a little bit of a surprise. I thought that game would be a lot closer.
42-17 was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who thought Nicholls could actually start the year 2-0 against bowl schools, and that's just crazy to me. But it's weird that a 42-17 game against Nicholls could be what really starts to get the fire going
for Tulane. Yeah,
because there were so many people who were like, Nicholls is going to go in there and beat him. They couldn't beat Wake Forest.
And now they get a win against Nicholls, and people are like, they're not bad. This might be a pretty good little team.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they play with
By the way,
confidence.
Nicholls is going to lose this week at McNeese. that's my prediction. McNeese is really.
Are we putting money on that? We're going to the table?
No, we're not going to go. You can't go to the table window. Well, you can. You got to go through the real window for that one. But the point is that I really think McNeese who's a good team. No slight of Nicholls. Really it's just the games in Lake Charles. This game's
quarterback of McNeese went to a great high school, Holy Cross.
Fantastic. Holy Cross.
By the way, Santos, he and I working for the same company.
See,
on the side.
A year after me.
You can sling it a little bit, huh?
You can.
Yeah. Eric. Sean Santos,
04?
05, flung it around, went play a little bit of Northwestern State.
10,000 career yard, high school yard. He was a starter from when he was a freshman.
By the way, since you're a Catholic League boy, boy from New Orleans, who's the best team in the Catholic League this year?
I'm always going to say Curtis, and then I'll figure it out after
from there. Yeah.
But I really like what St. Aug is doing this year.
Okay. All right. Yes, big year for St. Aug. They won a playoff game in baseball for the first time ever.
Yep.
And then
they have a signee in baseball for the first time, kid going to Arkansas Pine Bluff. So things they're looking
they actually not the first time they've had a baseball signing. They've had others. Chad Jones, of course, went there, and they actually.
Well, he didn't sign from St. Aug, though. He signed from Southern Lab.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's why you keep me around.
Thank you. Hey, go back to sleep. I got the rest of the show. You contributed. That was great.
Come back for golf and announcement in 30 minutes.
By the way, Scott Stays. Remember that name? That name? Former. He's 46 like me. He was a great pitcher at St. Aug, and then went to Tulane, and then broke his arm in his first bullpen session. At Tulane. No, literally, his elbow popped out. It was crazy. Compound fracture on a bullpen session in college. That's nuts. All right, so get back to LSU for a minute. That was a great as we got off on St. Aug baseball.
I don't know how we got from LSU football to St. Aug baseball, but
listen, hang with us, folks. Trust me, hang with us. You never know where this show is going to go. And see, the hand went in the other screen. We got to make sure I keep it in the box right there. But hang with us. LSU is a 10.5-point underdog.
Yeah.
At Auburn, the line went up. They were like a 9, and it went to 9.5.
It's been all over the place.
10.5. The over-under's coming down because everybody's believing that it's going to be low scoring, but everybody's loving Auburn. I want to apologize to anybody out there that's going to put a bet. I took LSU plus 10.5. So which means take Auburn. Okay, if you're out there, Don't blame me. Take Auburn getting the 10.5, giving up 10.5. But I like LSU to cover the 10.5 because this series, with the exception of a game here or there,
always close.
We don't have Brandon Harris starting. Okay, we got a veteran quarterback. Okay,
always close.
This series is always close. And oh, by the way, I'm putting it not on LSU's offense. I like LSU's defense to shut down Auburn.
Yeah, absolutely. The LSU defense is going to be ready. Aranda has been probably looking at film for this probably since January. I mean,
Right.
let's be honest. He has probably broken this down as much as can. Devin White, talked to him the other day. He was admitting, he had been looking at clips of Auburn for a while on his iPad. I think this is a low-scoring game. We're talking about. I also thought Miami was going to be a low-scoring game,
Right?
But this one just has the feel of a good old-fashioned SEC slugfest. That it's going to end up 17-14, 20-17. I like LSU in the points. I like the under. I think that is how this game goes. I don't think you could give any. It could be a season where LSU is 9-0 and Auburn is 0-9, and if the spread is 10, I think it's too much. This is just a series where it's always going to be close. You can use the cliche, you throw the records out the window, but it fits with this series, and you've seen it year after year after year. Even in last year's series, you thought it was going to be a blowout. It was 20-0 Auburn, and then it ends up 27-23. LSU takes a win. So I just don't think that you can do that. Yeah, I think this is LSU's defense is going to be the strength. Auburn's defense is going to be the strength. The one thing that LSU might have to exploit is quick passes. Auburn's given up, I think, 5 30-yard pass plays this year. You're going to have to get behind that defense and try to hit a strike. Send Jefferson deep, send Sullivan deep, send anybody deep to try and get something on this Auburn secondary.
Well, come on, LSU. Man, I'll tell you, I'll be so happy if I'm covering the game at Auburn and LSU pulls off the 21-20 miracle win. They go for 2 with like 10 seconds left. They win 21-20. They cover the 10.5. They cover the under.
They get that money line for some people in here.
Hey, if you get the under while you can, folks, the number is going down. I got it at 45. I had to buy a half a point. But get it because it's going down and down and down. Take the under. Man, if LSU wins, that'll be awesome.
History tells you, too, LSU plays Auburn a lot better there than they do here.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had more success in Auburn than Auburn has in Baton Rouge. So it's gonna be a hell of a game, and I'm excited to watch it. So
look at Buzzy just coming with some good nuggets here. But he two in a row that segment. Pretty good stuff.
You're welcome.
The Buzzard. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, some more Sports Church talk. We'll talk about the SEC, some of the other big games, and will this weekend. I mean, this is going to be a crazy weekend with the hurricane and everything. We'll talk about that. Don't go anywhere.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Buzzy Heidel hiding behind the laptop. I'm Ronnie Rants.
Big laptop to hide behind,
big,
too.
Big. It's like the old school one.
It's when he takes his nap, he can actually just put his head
brand new. It's a year old. I mean, it's thin, it's little.
It's not an apple, is it?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So we'll talk some SEC football here for a minute. Before we move forward, let's go backwards. Last week, the Texas A&M game against Clemson. What a great game it was. I had the feeling that Texas A&M would play them well. Now, I didn't go to the window on that one, so I don't want to claim that I had some premonition, but I just felt like anytime a team...
You were right because you didn't have money on it.
Exactly, exactly. Anytime a team that's not in your conference has to travel halfway across the country and go play in front of 110,000 in a hostile environment with people go swaying back and forth and kissing their girlfriends, it's different. It's different.
It is, and I've been at A&M as
one of the best environments.
As a fan.
Yeah.
I went to, it was back when I was coaching. We went to the Midnight Madness Port, and they put a court on the stadium, and then they did midnight yell practice. I mean, it is a something to experience, and I hope if LSU fans do get a chance to kind of go out there and just experience it, and just kind of appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
It is an intimidating place to play.
Well, LSU will find out last game of the year, Saturday after Thanksgiving. We'll be there, and I'm sure it's going to be a meaningful game on LSU season from the wins and losses relative to what bowl.
It'll be a meaningful game just to play Jimbo Fisher.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the guy that we thought was going to be our coach for the last 2 years, we're finally going to get a chance to play him over there, and it's obvious that Jimbo Fisher has done some good things already.
Yeah, I mean, it's as much as you want to say, it's still a loss. A 28-26 loss against a number 2 team in the country, who some people think is the top team in the country in Clemson. It's a heck of a game, and it could have gone either way. I want to say thank you to ESPN for having replays on TV, because I have to be at a game while that happens, so you're able to catch stuff like that.
Did you think the fumble was out of bounds or a touchback?
I thought it was touchback.
Yeah, you thought it was a touchback?
I thought it was touchback.
Okay.
I mean, it was close, but it's one of those things where until you can, I know as much cameras as you can have, until you have, you got to have like chips in the ball to start seeing stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, but you got to give A&M credit for hanging in there against Clemson.
By the way, Jimbo Fisher called for more TVs, cameras.
I would, which no surprise.
Which here's the thing. This is the thing that these coaches don't understand. On any given Sunday, just with the big boys conference, not 1AA, FCS, but you're talking about 60-something games. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's not enough TV trucks, TV cameras, production trucks, all that equipment around the country to have a sports Super Bowl shoot and have 20 cameras on the field. Right. It just doesn't. Technology doesn't exist. You're not always going to
have the eye in the sky camera. You're not always going to have the pylon camera. You had it in this case, but it's not meant to try to figure some stuff like that out. I mean, it's you of course when you got the money that A&M does, you're going to call for that. I mean, but you go back. I mean, that's just like in baseball where the SEC can have replay, but and nobody else is going to have the resources to put into putting cameras all around the stadium.
Alabama buzz 2-0. I mean,
that's scary.
They
surprise,
huh? Scary. But it's not the fact that they're 2-0. It's just how they've looked, right? As dominant and crisp as they've looked. We'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, obviously they go on the road to Ole Miss, and as you mentioned,
Since 2014 in the regular season, Alabama is 48-1 against opponents not named Ole Miss. They are 2-2 against the Rebels. So
who's their other loss to?
Oh, yeah, I didn't look that part up.
Just 2014,
I just looked the Ole Miss part up.
who was there? Oh,
Texas
Auburn.
A&M?
Auburn.
Oh, is it Auburn? That's it.
Auburn in
That's
the
who it
Iron
is.
Bowl last year, which got Gus Malzahn finally off the hot seat and got him
Right.
the 7-year, $49
Right.
million extension.
Yeah, no, they're you think at some point it's going to be a rebuilding year. And I mean, again, the old cliche, the old thing. They just reload. I mean, and it's just they're better than they were the year before, and they dominated that year.
Alabama is maybe the best. I mean, obviously the best program in the country. Nick's been doing it for so long, but they're the best school in the country at getting 5- and 4-star players to sit and wait their turn.
Right.
You know, whether it's coming up because of injury or whether it's coming up because this guy graduated. You might have to wait until you're a junior or a senior, but they're making 4- and 5-star guys wait. LSU is getting around where, it's, they're talking about at linebacker when it's Duke Riley has to wait, Donnie Alexander has to wait, and all those guys. It's mostly 3 stars. They're making 4- and 5-star guys sit and wait their turn, and that's why they're so good just year after year.
Does Ole Miss? I mean, do they have a shot? I mean, it's at home.
You got a shot because that
defensively,
offense is,
though, they're not.
Yeah, and there's no. I don't see Ole Miss. I mean, they gave up 48 points to Southern Illinois. Last week in the first
I mean,
half.
that's the thing. Is that, Ole Miss. The interesting bet in this game is the over/under, because the over/under on the game is, let's see, I think it's like 61 or something.
Which I would think. I mean,
Alabama's a 21.5-point favorite. I'll take Alabama to cover the 21.5. I'll actually buy a half a point, get it to 21. But I like Alabama to cover the 21 but I think Ole Miss can score points, but not 40.
it could be.
They might score 24
a
or something.
55-21 type
Right.
game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Over under at 70.5.
Is it at 70.5 now?
Yeah.
About that half point, Ron.
Oh, that might be a little bit too much for me.
I-
Earlier in the day, the over/under on that game was 61.
And
So you're getting at 70.5 now? Oh,
It's
wow.
just admitting the first step that you have a problem, and then it's
Yeah.
recovering to see how you can get through the gambling addiction.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Listen, let me tell you something. I don't know where Lloyd's going to the window in Vegas to place his
I
bets.
need to talk to my guy.
Well, actually, I don't have to say going to the window in Vegas anymore.
can go to the window in Biloxi
Go to
now.
Pearl River.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you're going to the Pearl River Casino
You can
or,
go
or,
to-
or
Natchez.
going to Gulfport or wherever.
You take 10, 30 minutes. You're
But,
there now.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, state of Louisiana, get with the thing, huh? I mean,
It's
just so
they've
ridiculous.
got to jump on that soon, though.
Let's wait for wait for 5 years.
let's
that
wait, let them get
everybody
all
else-
the money and all the
everybody else to
business.
have it, and then
Right.
then we'll do it.
Yeah, because it's coming, right? I want to check on Lloyd's.
You can't even
number
do daily. You can't
here.
even do daily right now in Louisiana. I mean, that's how far Louisiana is behind it. You can't do the DraftKings and.
You just can't trust Lloyd behind the board
I
right
just
now.
can't.
Just
I
throw
mean,
in something.
71.5. He
I
threw
mean,
that-
I got a guy. I might need to talk. I mean, I got all my fingers
Yeah,
and
he's
toes.
got
for now,
Alabama,
so-
Mississippi. Golly, 71.
Oh, you want this half point over here?
Because here's the thing: is that I think Ole Miss scores 20 tops on Alabama.
Yeah, but I
this
think
week.
Bama could score 50.
But I
60.
do think they
Yeah.
can score 50.
They won't score 50 at Ole Miss. I mean, come on. Their offense is
Miss's
dynamic.
defense is
Our offense is.
brutal.
I know it is, but they know the stats. They've been reading them too. They've got
bad.
an Andrew Lopez up there. They're reading
bad.
the press
Oh,
clippings.
so
No, but they're
bad.
reading the stats about
Yeah.
2-2 in the last 4
Yeah,
years.
I mean, they know. They know they're going to have it. That's why I think their offense.
Look,
has
Bama's
confidence.
scared coming into here. I mean,
I tell you what,
that defense.
what I
is-
really like is forget the over/under. I love Alabama getting 21, giving 21.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, regardless of whether it's a 42-10 Alabama win or a 55-20, they're going to cover the 21.
you love it so much. We got to put money on it.
I'm
I mean,
gonna
you
do
can't
it
just-
next break. Next
You
break.
know what that means?
Yeah, it's
Not
over
gonna
with.
work.
Yeah.
That means you'll be
break.
watching the
Take the
game.
Rebels.
You'll
Next
be,
break.
you'll be there
So
in the
if
fourth
you're,
quarter.
if you're recapping, I like LSU to cover the 10.5.
So
they're getting 10.5. I like them.
So Auburn's going to win.
I think Auburn wins, and I think LSU covers. I like the under.
So it's gonna go over.
45 over under. I like the under in
High
that
scoring
game
game.
between LSU and Auburn. And in the Alabama Ole Miss game, your bookie's going to be 21, 21.5, 22. I love LSU. I love Alabama.
So Rebels are going to cover.
And yeah, there you go. There you go.
'Cause he's
Did I
go-
have any others while I was at it?
Yeah, there's your parlay for the weekend.
And then we'll talk
Yeah.
Saints in a little bit. We'll get that Saints line against the Browns.
oh,
We'll
it's
look
at,
that
at
up.
9.
Was it 9?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody,
I got burnt on the Saints last
Vegas
week
loves
at
the Saints.
9.
the public loves the Saints.
Is this a bounce back game for the Saints?
Absolutely. You have to come out there.
I got caught up in the Browns on HBO's. What is it?
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
Browns, the unbeaten, undefeated Browns who are just 0-1.
But I mean,
that's such a Browns way to stop their
Tyrod Taylor,
losing streak.
15 for 40. 15 for 40 throwing the football. They got 6 turnovers against the Steelers and couldn't win. Couldn't win.
That's incredible.
Okay, I like the Saints. Get a 9-point favorite. I'm going to take the Saints, but not big. I'm going to take it a little. That way I'm not aggravated as much.
Oh, tease it. Throw a 2-game teaser in there.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't feel that confident. Saints got me rattled. Their defense is brutal.
Shaky.
I really believe that's a thing. That's a thing. I mean,
Cleveland likes
you don't
to
give
Hail
up
Marys in the
51.
Superdome
It should have
anyway.
been 51. He missed the field goal. You don't give up 51 to Tampa Bay and just brush it off like, first game jitters.
Yeah,
no,
but
you got problems.
You could bother 6 points with the teaser. You just got to throw another one in there.
By the way, that's
2-game
Lloyd
teaser.
the intern who is
He's
rocking
Mike,
the mic.
Mike happy today.
Lloyd
Mike
the
Happy. He's
gambling
back.
intern.
Yeah, he's got the sumo haircut thing going on. Got it up in a
Feeling good
pony.
about himself,
Got it up in a pony now.
It's the man. He's just don't go man.
Do we
bun.
have to take a break? We probably need to take a break. We got 1 minute. Okay. Buzzy never bets. Guy's tighter than Alan Risher.
That's what I expect from my insurance man.
So
Is Alan Risher tight?
very, very.
I knew I liked Alan.
Yeah, very tight. Where do you're gonna bet if you were to bet $5 because that's what the bet would be $5 on LSU giving up 10.5 points? Where would you be?
Giving up 10. I know. Yeah.
I mean, getting 10 and a
getting
half.
10 and a half.
Getting 10
I think they cover
think
that.
they cover
Absolutely,
that?
because Coach, I made the point earlier. They play well in Auburn. They don't play well. They play much better than Auburn does in Baton Rouge.
Right.
And so I like them, and I like it low scoring because I agree. I think Aranda's that defense is going to be stout, and I think they're going to be up. And but I do. I think 10.5 is a big number.
Matt Canada 2-0 as a coach.
Hey, when Matt Canada can run his own program, he's going to be good. Matt Canada's problem was taking orders from somebody else. That's why he was in 4 different jobs in 4 years.
And he obviously doesn't like taking orders, and it was obvious.
Yeah, no.
And him did not get along.
It was simply he needed to be the guy in charge.
All right, Andrew Lopez, Buzzy Heidel, Ronnie Rance. We're going to keep Andrew for one more segment. We come back, we'll continue our conversation. We'll talk some more NCAA football and a little around the horn with the NFL. Don't go anywhere.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rantz, Andrew Lopez, and the Red, Buzzy Heidel. Andrew with us for one more segment here on Sports Shorts. Of course, you can follow Andrew on NOLA.com. What's your Twitter handle?
_Andrew_Lopez. Too many Andrew Lopez's out there. I got in the game kind of late.
_Andrew _Lopez. Give him a good follow. He's got a lot of great posts. And, of course, still doing some LSU for a couple more weeks, but then he'll be the insider for Pelicans Hoops. As you know, look, they're not going to win the West. They're not going to win an NBA title this year, but they're going to be entertaining. They're going to be fun. They're going to be a playoff team, barring some catastrophic injury. So we'll be giving Andrew a follow, and we'll chat with him from time to time here on Sports Shorts when he's back in the Big Easy. Talk a little college football here, and then we'll switch over to the NFL. Of the other SEC teams, I got to believe Kentucky, besides Texas A&M playing Clemson so well, and it makes you in the West go, A&M's improved. They're going to be a challenge, not next year, this year. But Kentucky on the other side ended a 31-year drought. You know, hadn't beaten Florida in over 31 years in the Swamp. They finally get a win over there. What does that tell you about Kentucky? B, what does that tell you about Florida?
It tells you that there's still a lot that Florida has to work on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that Dan Mullen has to fix before he can get it to where, they're winning, 10 games every year. And if he can work it back up to that, where he was kind of at toward the end of his time at Mississippi State. But I thought Kentucky was going to be a good team this year. I didn't think that, they'd necessarily go and win at Florida, but I thought they would be able to take a jump. Benny Snell is one of the best running backs that nobody really knows about. I think that they are a very good football team who, I kind of opened some eyes. Now, everybody's going to be now on alert for the rest of the season. You can't sneak up on anybody if you beat somebody. If you beat Florida in the Swamp, so you've already made your impact. But it'll be interesting to watch them the rest of the year.
Buzz, the rest of the SEC, Vanderbilt taking on Notre Dame this weekend. Look, Notre Dame big favorite in this one. But, look, Notre Dame's one of those teams that they can drop one to Air Force.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt I just hope they go over there and represent.
Well, that's right. I mean, you hear so much talk over the years. Look, I've never seen any one team more overrated over the last 10 years than Notre Dame. And I mean, I get it. It's the New York Yankee of baseball. It's the LSU baseball of college. But when they're relevant, it's good for college football. I understand that, but they're number 8. They're ranked 8 in the country right now. Vanderbilt goes to South Bend. Yeah, I agree. Hopefully they can represent SEC. Vanderbilt is one of the, let's just call it like it is. They're the bottom of the barrel when it comes to SEC football.
And here's the thing about Notre Dame, that's in South Bend. They like to play these neutral site games, but they'll have one a year. whether it's the Yankee Stadium Series
Right.
game that they're going to play when and they're going to have pinstripes on later this year. It's tough to go to South Bend if you're a team like Vandy. I mean, that's just going to be a tough
Do
one.
you have you been to Missouri?
I have not.
You haven't covered anything
No.
at Missouri. We had a guest on a couple weeks ago that talked about the worst facilities in the league in the SEC or Missouri. Like they, in their opinion, shouldn't even be in the SEC. Their facilities are that bad. Which I asked them, like, worse than Vanderbilt? And they said, yeah, worse than Vanderbilt, because at least Vanderbilt's in Nashville.
Right.
But they got that going for it, right? One of the great cities in the country.
And it's a nice stadium. It's and they're you want to talk whole facilities. Their gym is great. Obviously, their baseball program is built that part up. So I could see that.
But anyway, you look at the West, and there's no slouches in the West as far as facilities go. But in the East, Kentucky's baseball stadium's not nice, although they're building a new one and all that.
Which is incredible.
The plans and all for the new one.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
No, you got to see it. It's done.
Oh, it's already done?
Oh, it's
Okay.
unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah. And they got amazing indoor thing and all that.
I even hate to say this because we're LSU baseball, but if I was an LSU baseball player, I'd be like, ooh, I'd be kind of jealous. I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's that nice.
Wow.
And I mean, LSU's 09. I mean, it's
Right.
getting to be 10 years old.
But if you're, and people say, well, how can they afford it? First off, everybody in the SEC gets the same check.
Yeah.
Okay, from the TV contracts. And oh, by the way, Kentucky baseball has put no money into their facilities or program for 100 years. So they've been saving, you know, and they're finally playing it all at one time. And
they just go over to Rupp and just tap one guy on the shoulder and Rupp. Hey, can you come help over here real quick?
They put all the money in basketball. Trust me. Power 5 teams. Okay, teams outside of the Power 5, the Group of 5 schools. Yeah. Is there one that you're watching that? Let's face it. If the moon, the stars, everything align, everybody else loses 1 or 2 games, can somehow end up in the playoff. Who would it be?
It's probably Boise, just because of where they're at right now. They have a big game this week against Oklahoma State. They just blew the doors off of UConn last week. I think they had 538 yards in the first half against UConn. They're ready. This is the Boise kind of that you remember a little bit. So I think they would be my pick to get into the Group of 5 at this point. I mean, one of those Group of 5 schools to get into.
It's funny you say that too. I mean, if this format would have been here back when the Boise State, it seemed like how many years in a row they were going undefeated and just get. I mean, how many 4 seeds would they have gotten, during that time?
Yeah, you got to think they would have gotten at least one, at least 2.
Possibly 2, maybe. Yeah, but different times. And Boise State, I like when Boise State is good and relevant, and because they bring a different little dimension. They got they're unique with the blue field and all that. So, again, another team that brings excitement to college football.
By the way, Boise State, a 2-point dog at Oklahoma State this weekend. And if Boise State can pull off the win on the road, which isn't that huge of an upset,
right.
A lot of people obviously, then they have a legitimate chance to then run the table and be 12-0, and they have a win against a bowl. Oklahoma State's will make a bowl.
But Oklahoma State's probably
Big 12
a 9-3 team
on the road.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot to this game, because if you don't want a Group of 5 team to crash the party, or maybe even make it into the Big 6 games, then you want to pull for Oklahoma State this weekend. But me personally, man, Boise State's one of those programs I credit teams that have been around and stood the test of time. And Boise State's one of those programs that for the last 13 years has been relevant every year.
Because sometimes you get a program who they'll do it because of a coach. You look at Utah.
Central Florida.
You look
or
at
Utah.
Right. Utah when Urban Meyer was there,
yeah.
and then he leaves, and it's back to being 7-6, being irrelevant. You wonder about UCF right now. They go undefeated with Scott Frost, and then they're kind of trying to turn some heads down there again.
Rutgers.
So everybody has that year because of a coach. But it's they lost Peterson. Peterson's in Washington now. So now you're still trying to do it. So to me, that is, like you said, a credit to the program itself and into the institution for continuously putting the resources into the program that are needed.
Now, Central Florida is not going to get to play a game this week at North Carolina, which most people think they would have won because of the hurricane. So that's going to hurt their dream hopes of winning back-to-back national championships like they think they did. Because if they go 11-0, they're not going to get into the Group of 5. Right. I mean, they're not going to get into the playoffs no matter what, no matter how impressive they are. because they won't have played that 12th game. And they're going to hold that against them. Anything to keep them out, they're going to. So out goes the chances. Now, hopefully, you never know, they'll maybe tack this game on and won't cancel it, maybe throw it on at the end of the season.
Some schools are talking about maybe playing some of the other schools. I think like
figuring out who's.
So for instance, Southern Miss, their game against App State was canceled this weekend. UNC's game against UCF was canceled this weekend, but North Carolina and USM share a bye date.
Right.
So all of these schools are kind of in talks to try and do it. There's obviously the possibility of putting it on that Army-Navy weekend where it's just an Army-Navy game.
Right.
There's ways, but you kind of thinking of with all of this, maybe they should start looking at bumping the season up. I mean, let's face it, it's already a year-round sport. This isn't, you bump it up 1 week, you get to jump the NFL season by even more. You add an extra bye week into there, which I personally think the NFL should already do and have 2 bye weeks into a season. You add a second bye week, maybe some of these games you can kind of start to move them around a little bit.
The others, anybody else besides a Boise State that could possibly crash that group?
I still like UCF because I still think that even at 11-0, they'll still have a 12-0 because they'll have a
and they might get some
game.
carryover from last year. Oh, by the way,
Houston I also like because Ed Oliver is just Ed Oliver.
Ed Oliver's fun to watch.
He's amazing.
Who's he remind you of anybody in particular in the past?
I mean, you would look at Aaron Donald because he's just that dominant from the inside, but what he's doing against the competition he's doing against is insane. Should be at LSU, by the way.
Speaking of a group of 5 teams, the Raging Cajuns of UL Lafayette are going to be taking on Mississippi State. Now, for those of you who are watching this show, we tape we do this show on Saturday mornings, and then of course it's replayed on television Saturday, Sunday, Monday nights, and it's usually live on Saturday mornings. So some of these predictions, of course, the things have already happened. But if the Raging now, how about this schedule? Thank you very much for coming. I think they only have 5 home games, but they go 2 Mississippi State and 2 Alabama in the same month.
That is, while as rough as that is, I think your athletics budget is set for the next 2 years.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, even if they somehow pull off a win against Mississippi State, you're not going to beat Alabama. But fun test, right? This Raging Cajun football team has done some good things in the last 10 years. They got a new coach.
Going to face their old coach at Mississippi State.
Right.
Hudspeth is on Mississippi State staff, yeah. So,
go Cajuns. We're pulling for them, and hopefully we'll get a good one. All right, tell the folks where they can check you out and give you a follow.
NOLA.com/sports or /LSU/Pelicans, whatever you want to follow now. You can follow me on Twitter, _Andrew_Lopez.
Before we let you go, how is LSU? Give me a prediction on seasons this year. How do you think it's going to go? What's their wins, losses?
I still think it's 8-4. I still think there's Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, one other one in there, maybe Florida, maybe Mississippi State, but I still think it's 8-4.
Okay, you and I are on the same page. All right, Buzzy Heidel and we'll be back. We'll talk a little Ryder Cup golf next segment. Don't go anywhere.
Not for me.
See ya.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Elite Window.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes...
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'm Ronnie. He's Buzzy Heidel. I want to thank Andrew Lopez, who joined us in the show. So, you know, I got the buzz here, and a few weeks ago, we talked about it on Sports Shorts. We went down to South Florida. Myself, my brother Gus Rantz, who's running for state representative in 2019 for those folks over in the Lafayette District, District 31, I think it is. Blair Barbier, former captain, two-time national champion of the LSU baseball team in 97 and 2000. Doug Thompson, winning pitcher in that 97 national championship win against Alabama. And Buzz and myself. And we go down to Miami, and we represented Team Louisiana well. We didn't always play well, but like a good team, we picked each other up, and we carried Team Louisiana to victory over Team Florida/International. So, you know, it got us all kind of geared up for golf, but particularly the Ryder Cup format and the Ryder Cup style, which, we're 2 weeks away from the Ryder Cup coming up in Paris, September the 25th, right? Is when things get started.
Yep, that's right.
But the Ryder Cup's going to be in Paris, France, which that would be a great one to go to. That would be such a great
one. By the way, Whistling Straits next year.
Whistling Straits next year?
Maybe we got to.
Maybe we need to.
That's a trip.
Hold put some ducats in a bucket and see if we can't maybe make it happen. But this Ryder Cup team this year is probably as star-studded a Ryder Cup team as ever. If I'd have told you 8 months ago that Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods would be on this Ryder Cup team, you wouldn't have believed me.
No, God, no, not with the way, well, Phil Mickelson, he actually had a win, I want to say last year, but not with Tiger Woods, what he's been through with his injuries and all that. But you know what I think would be really cool, too? I mean, you look at all these guys. I mean, Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson, Ricky Fowler, the who's who. I mean, literally the guy that's probably known the least in there is Webb Simpson, and that's a major winner. And that's no slight towards Webb, but that just goes to show you how many great players on this. Bryson DeChambeau has been playing unbelievable. Is on there, and then Tony Finau, I guess, would be.
But Tony Finau was the guy that was just added, captain's pick, that was added just last week.
Right.
And Tony Finau's an up and comer.
He is.
He's a young guy who represents kind of like a Tiger Woods, represents minorities, and it's a breath of fresh air. He's
a big guy.
It's a big guy. It's a good mix of old, new. And some star power in there. And obviously the biggest star power is Tiger Woods. When we were talking to Andrew Lopez a little while ago, he's not a big golfer, but he said, man, he's been on the Tiger Woods train the last month. And that's what, love or hate Tiger Woods or however you feel about him, Tiger Woods is great for the game of golf. He's great for your local golf course. He's great for your golf store down the street that re-grips clubs. He's great for the tour, because when Tiger Woods is doing well, everybody in golf is making money. More people are watching. And if you love the sport of golf like Buzzy and I do, it's good for it. I mean, it's been an amazing story.
It is. And look, so if you don't know how the Ryder Cup works, basically the top 8 in the FedEx Cup points of the USA guys get automatically in. So the top 8, and then the captain has 4 picks. Well, Captain Jim Furyk, who's probably not that much older, probably the same age as Phil Mickelson, maybe even younger, picked Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, Bryson DeChambeau, and Tony Finau. So they did not qualify their
own. They
own.
weren't in the top 8.
But you can't fault. I mean, Phil Mickelson's playing really well. Tiger Woods is playing incredible, although he's not won one this year. So it's, again, a lot of good mixes. Phil Mickelson making his 12th appearance. It's every 2 years, 12th appearance in the Ryder Cup. Tiger Woods making his 8th. Nobody else has more than 4 on that list. So just an incredible I love the Ryder Cup. It brings a different feel to golf. Ronnie, when we play – and look, when we go play down in Miami with the boys, I mean, it's official golf. You got to be quiet. You can't turn music on. You can't do a lot of things.
Play it down,
put everything out. In this format, it almost doesn't seem like the same old golf. I mean, you got people cheering. You got people, even in their backswings, you got Team USA asking for the crowd to go crazy. Some interesting notes. They are playing in Paris, France, as you said, Ronnie. They have not won the Ryder Cup on foreign soil since 1993. Tom Kite Tom Watson was the captain back then, back in 93. So they hadn't won. They won last year. They won in 2008 when Paul Azinger was the captain, but they've not won on foreign soil since 1993. That's a long, long time. So they're trying to get past that. But look, you look at the star-studded USA side. I mean, Team Europe is no slouch. You got Justin Rose, Rory McIlroy, Molinari, who's a major winner, Tommy Fleetwood, who's always in the top 5. I mean,
great hair.
Great hair.
Tommy Fleetwood with the
mullet.
And
then you've got kind of the old veterans, the Sergio Garcia, the Paul Caseys, Ian Poulter, who's so great in the Ryder Cups.
He's got the little up hat thing.
The little up hat with the spiky hair,
right.
The Oakley's just all. Henrik Stenson's on it. So, I mean, you're talking about really a Team Europe squad that's very star-studded as well. So, Sergio Garcia making his 9th appearance.
Oh, yes.
Going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and by the way, Jim Furyk is a month older than Phil Mickelson.
I was about to say, I knew he was probably the same age or right at it.
By the way,
one thing I would say, Ronnie, I don't know if you remember this, back in 2004, our own Hal Sutton, Louisiana's Hal Sutton, was the captain. It was a terrible year for Team USA. He said he had to do it, though. He put Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods as partners. It blew up in his face. They were in the peaks of their career. They were very competitive. They weren't very friendly. It blew up in their face. I don't think they won a point, and USA lost by a ton. I would like to see, Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods. That almost seems like their relationship is better now. They've got they respect each other. Tiger Woods seems like he's been humbled a little bit. I know they won't do it. I know Furyk won't do it, but I think it would be really cool if Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods would be a pair as a team.
Well, by the way, they're going to go against each other on Thanksgiving Day.
The day after Thanksgiving for $9 million.
For $9 million in Vegas.
So that might not be the best thing to put them on a team for Team USA a month before or 2 months before they need to go. They're going to compete against each other. I just know it seems like they're I don't know.
Shadow Creek in Vegas.
Seems like their relationship's a lot better than it once was. They're kind of out of the peaks of their career.
Oh, it's much better.
You know what I mean? It seems like it's just a better.
By the way, a little side note. Phil and I go way back.
Oh, here we go.
We go way back. No, I mean
just
Phil,
like you and Arnie.
I go further back with Phil. Phil went to Arizona State. Was a 3-time All-American at Arizona State, and I think he was there early '90s. I was my family was based from '89 to '96 in Phoenix, Arizona. That was when I was in college and even after. And when I played a little minor league ball, I lived out there in Tempe. Well, when you play minor league baseball, you got to get a job in the off season. I mean, you go play baseball, then you make $1,000 a month, and then you got to go, get a job in the off season. So I worked for UPS. I was a driver for a private business. I did different things, but one of the jobs was I was a a delivery pizza man for Domino's in Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay, which
I'm sorry, Domino's, you did not make your quota that month.
But here's the thing: I worked for about 3 months for them. A friend of mine was a manager, and he needed drivers desperately. He was short drivers, and I said, "That's fine." I had a Ford Explorer back then, and I said, "I'm not putting the light on the car. I'm not putting a magnet on the door, and I'm not wearing the hat. I'll wear the polo that says Domino's, but that's it." And he said, "Okay, deal," because he needed me that bad, right?
I'm not putting.
It was one of the best. It was one of the best jobs I ever had for a lot of reasons. One, you're delivering in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's not a bad neighborhood in Scottsdale, Arizona. At no point am I driving around Scottsdale, Arizona, wondering, "Oh my God, I hope I don't get jumped." Like, you're carrying the cash in your pocket. You're not worried about anything in Scottsdale, Arizona. Secondly, all the pizza you can eat and breadsticks and wings. I mean, it was unbelievable, my diet. And then thirdly, good money. I mean, people tip in Scottsdale, Arizona. And oh, by the way, at that time, the Phoenix Suns were on fire. This was Thunder Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, Charles Barkley. They were good back then.
We're getting to Phil Mickelson, right?
We're getting there.
Okay.
I'm bringing around. I'm telling you. And when I was delivering pizzas back then in the early, mid '94 or something like that in the off season, when the Phoenix Suns would play, the phones would light up because Domino's had this valley-wide number. You dial like 444-4444, and it would automatically send you to the Domino's by your house. It was pretty ingenious. You can't do it with cell phones, but when you had landlines, you could do it. And so they had a special deal, and they would run it throughout the game, and so we would get bombarded. Well, if a pizza gets delivered to your house over an hour and 15 minutes old, the home office, Domino's, would say, just give it to them for free because you're not going to charge somebody for a cold pizza that's an hour and a half late. Well, a lot of times people would open the door pissed off. They'd snatch the pizza out of my hand before I could even say, "Ma'am, it's complimentary at Domino's." They would just shove a 20 in my face or give me the check, slam the door, and I'd be like, "Okay." So I was making bank, Coach. I was making bank delivering pizzas for Domino's. It was a great gig. That said, I delivered a pizza to Phil Mickelson's condo.
You're lying.
Delivered a pizza to Phil Mickelson's condo at a golf course in Scottsdale. Opened the door, bam, it was Phil Mickelson.
But how do you know?
I mean, I saw him in the face.
Yeah, but I mean, you weren't in a golf then. You don't really know Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, Phil Mickelson was a superstar. Plus, I was living in Phoenix where he was a star. So he was on the tour. He was like, a couple years on the tour. He won an All-American golfer.
So what did he say? What did you say?
I mean, he gave me like a tip. I mean, it was not. I didn't make a big conversation.
You didn't hug him or
in Phil Mickelson's mind, I'm just some Domino's driver. Like, he could care less about what I got to say.
Was
Can
this
I get the
before
pizza?
or after Tin Cup?
This was before Tin Cup, I think, because Tin Cup was probably, what,
Tin
95, 6?
that is my favorite movie.
And quick follow-up, do you remember the order? What was his go-to
Don't remember
pizza?
the order. Don't remember the order. And just an okay tipper because I don't remember the tip like being wow.
He didn't have any money then, Coach.
Yeah, I think Phil kind of came from a little something. But the other thing was I delivered another pizza to Devon White. Remember Devon White, center fielder for the Blue Jays?
Yeah, absolutely.
Played on a couple of World Series teams. Was an all-star. Delivered a pizza to him. So that's it. That's it.
That's what you got.
And then one last pizza delivery story. I went to this beautiful house in Scottsdale, which most of them were, and delivered a pizza, and it was this raging party going on. And at the time, I'm 22, 3 years old, and beautiful girl comes to the door.
Now you regret wearing a Domino's shirt.
Yeah, beautiful girl comes to the door, and I've got like 5 pizzas, right, and I deliver it. And immediately when she opens the door, I forget that I'm a delivery driver. I'm just 22, 23-year-old guy smitten on this pretty girl who opens the door. So I immediately like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know what I mean? I'm giving her the pizza. I'm getting a little rapport. What we got going on here? I mean, I'm having a little moment. Like, I feel like there's something coming back my way. Everything's going well. But then all of a sudden, after about a minute into this conversation, it dawns on her that I'm the pizza guy. And you could see it. It clicked in her head, and she was like, "What do I owe you?" And then like settled up and shut the door. Meanwhile, like there's pretty girls jumping in pools and over her shoulder. Like, it was one of those moments where I was like, I just kind of pouted as I walked back to my truck to go deliver the next batch of pizzas. Anything else you want to add on Ryder Cup, Buzz?
No, but that was great. Every time I see Phil Mickelson, I'm just gonna think
the U.S. gonna win. No, they don't win on the
They
foreign
don't.
soil.
They just don't win, and they don't play well. I know they played well last year. They just lose in these events.
I don't know. I'm going.
I like USA though. USA won in Miami.
I think it's Team Louisiana won. They're going to win. And by the way, they've got the hottest golfers in the world. Not talking physically. I'm talking they're playing well. Bruce Koepka, who by the way, Brooks Koepka. If I was to go that way, I would go that way with him. I mean, that guy's put together. He's and they got a lot of things going their way right now. And I think Tiger Woods is going to be the breakout star. All right, we'll be back. USA wins. Go to the bank at the window in Vegas. Put your money on the USA to win the Ryder Cup. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts and Buzzy right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino in Baton Rouge. Buzz, you went to the Clint Black concert last night. How was it?
Going to it tomorrow night.
No, it was last night.
That's right. Very good. I had a lot to drink last night, Ronnie. You know what I mean?
I mean, Buzz, you went last night to the Clint Black show.
A lot of Tito's.
Don't remember it.
A lot of Tito's. I'm going to tell you, Clint Black had it rocking. You know what I mean?
What were you drinking?
A lot of Tito's,
Like Tito's?
Coach.
That's your Tito's and vodka guy?
Yeah,
He had a Marty McFly, Doc Brown moment there.
Been cottonmouth all morning. You threw that at me. You just really shook me there. I forgot.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was a great event last night. Can't wait. Clint Black's great. I mean, he's on my I still do Pandora. I don't know if there's a new thing. There probably is. I'm getting old, but I do Pandora Around the Pool.
Spotify. It's kind of what the young people are doing these days.
And Clint Black is the one I go to, man.
Really?
I mean, a lot of good stuff. It's just that genre. It's not just Clint Black, but he's the ringleader there. And so it was a great event. Really fun.
Better Than Ezra coming up the night before the Georgia game. So make sure, and that's an outdoor concert. That'll be fun, right? Right outside. So get that one. Get your tickets through Ticketmaster.com and go by the Sundry store at LeBears Casino. BTE on stage the night before the Georgia game. And you never know who might get called up on stage to sing. Not saying it's going to happen.
I've been there, though, when it's happened.
Have you? You went there? You were in the outside, actually, weren't
Absolutely,
you? Absolutely,
Coach. And I think maybe one
when
time
they called me up to sing a little Sarah Smiles.
Inside. I mean, yeah, it's you never know what you get over there.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little baseball for a minute since we got 2 national championships, rings here and one there in 2009. Your guy who you played with who designed the national championship ring, DJ LeMahieu, because the famous story goes that when DJ LeMahieu was getting on the bus after 2009 when you beat Texas, he told Paul, I don't care what the ring looks like, just make it huge. I want it big. And believe me, he followed the instructions because that's a gaudy piece of jewelry you got there. But DJ LeMahieu, by the way, who's put on like 50 pounds since he left.
How big is that cat?
Since he left. He looks like a linebacker playing second base. Been a little banged up this year, got hurt, but, had a walk-off homer earlier this week. Plays a great defense. Did you have any idea when you were playing with DJ LeMahieu that he was going to be this, perennial all-star, long-time, MLB player?
Well, no, to answer your question, but I think, and I don't know if you went through this, Ronnie. When you play with guys in college, you consider yourself
on their level,
a decent player, right? And you're like, okay, that guy's better than me. I'm not playing, but the gap's not that big, right? And then. So then you see these guys in professional ball, Major League Baseball. When you turn on the TV, you're like, man, these guys are so good.
Right.
And then a guy like a DJ LeMahieu, who's a very talented guy, not taking anything away, but gets to the big leagues, and you think, well, okay, maybe the gap that you once thought from you and college and professional ball isn't as big. Now it's big, don't get me wrong, but it's not as big as you maybe once thought. And so for me, I had to get removed from baseball for a few years to start really seeing how good players are. And so for DJ LeMahieu, he's one of those guys where once I got out of baseball and was really removed from it and started seeing what he does day in and day out and really what he did at LSU and put myself in a mindset there, that's when it started becoming, okay, he's a really good player. His thing is he's just super consistent, and that's what he was at LSU. You knew what you were going to get from him. He wasn't the flashiest player. He didn't go out there and hit 15 homers in college a year or something like that, but he just got it done. And he had a knack for getting the big hit, super clutch, and that's kind of what he's doing right now in the big leagues. He had a walk-off homer the other day opposite field in Colorado, and so I'm really proud of him. He's a super nice guy. He came from Michigan to play down here in LSU, and he was one of those guys that got LSU back on the winning ways.
Probably will be in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame one day. Folks, well, how does a guy from Michigan get into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame? It's very simple. All you have to do is to qualify is you have to have played 2 years high school ball in the state of Louisiana or 2 years college, which DJ LeMahieu did, or 5 years professionally. So someone like Drew Brees, for example, will be in one day. You look on the board for those watching on TV behind me, the 2019 Hall of Fame induction class came out about a week and a half ago, and that ceremony will take place next June 6th through 8th, moving it up a little early next summer due to Peyton Manning's schedule, quite frankly. They have the Manning Passing Academy going on the last weekend in June in Thibodaux, and so in order for Peyton to participate, we moved the ceremony up. And so he's the star along with Les Miles. So we'll be getting one in there. Roger Cador is a Hall of Fame inductee, somebody that you know very well. Yeah. And I know LSU baseball has always been a big friend of Roger Cador's over at Southern.
Well, Roger, I mean, he's just a salt of the earth human, too. I mean, what he did at Southern, what he's done for the community. I know him and Skip Bertman are really good friends. And Roger never meets a stranger. And I mean, he remembers you. He jokes with you, and even the guys that weren't stars. I mean, a guy like me. I mean, every time I come up to him, he talks to me like like he's known me forever. So really good guy, really proud of him. And a really good class, Ronnie, with very notable guys with Les Miles, Peyton Manning. So it'll be a fun event for you guys I know next year.
And for those LSU fans, got another LSU tie, Max Fugler, who was an All-American center on that 58 national championship team, probably the second best player on that team, really behind Billy Cannon. Finally getting into the Hall of Fame after a long, long time, and some many others. So for more info, go to lasportshall.com. Check it out, lasportshall.com. And we actually have a Hall of Fame event coming up over in Lafayette, October the 3rd, Wednesday, October the 3rd. We're going to have an evening with Archie Manning and Les Miles. So that'll be a really cool event over at Oakbourne Country Club in Lafayette. And so if you want tickets or any info, go to lasportshall.com. It'll be a great intimate setting where you'll hear from two football legends from the state of Louisiana. And it actually turns out that it's on a Wednesday after LSU and Ole Miss play, the weekend after LSU and Ole Miss play, because that's neat because of the Archie and Les tie. And then also the Wednesday after the Saints and Giants play. Wow. Eli Manning taking on Drew Brees that Sunday. So really cool, and they'll be able to talk about those games as well. So for a special evening, go to lasportshall.com for an evening with Archie Manning and Les Miles. That's October 3rd in Lafayette. Baseball, how about this? Some big news last week. Your buddy Nolan Cain and all the staff, they get a big honor. #1 recruiting class in the country coming up this year for Paul Maneri's group.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not the first time that Paul Maneri's had a #1 recruiting class. I know back maybe my sophomore, junior year, it was the LeMahieu group, actually. When he came in, that was the #1 recruiting
2008 class.
And I think they may have had another one somewhere sprinkled in there, and then this is either the second or third #1 recruiting class. But yeah, Coach Maneri said they had a lot of guys that, they lost on a couple guys, but you're going to have that every year. They had a number of guys that got drafted that turned down going play professional baseball to come to LSU. And one thing you can say, and this is a big selling point for them, is, and I know they've got this list somewhere, and it's probably what they show the recruits, is anybody who's come to LSU that's been drafted. Or not anybody, but they have a list of a lot of guys, let me say that, who's been drafted out of high school. They show where they've been drafted when they leave LSU. And it's 98% of the time it's higher than when they came out of high school. So if you just show them that list of guys, the Kevin Galsmans, the Nolas, all these guys that have come to college, Matuks, that have come to college and how they've developed a chance to win a national championship, a chance to play in a better venue than you're probably going to play in with minor league baseball. I think that's a big selling point. So congratulations, my friend Nolan Cain, your friend Nolan Cain. I played with him in 2009. He recruits his butt off, and he's always on the road, and they deserve this.
Well, because of that, though, now the expectation is going to be there for 2019 season from the standpoint of they're going to be preseason top 5 in the country.
Well,
and you've got not only the #1 recruiting class in the country, you got 4 Team USA players back, and you got Josh Smith and Eric Walker that were freshman All-American coming off injury seasons.
It's kind of going to be like the 2017 team when all those guys were coming back. I mean, you couldn't hide away from the expectations. I mean, you had to just – and Coach Maneri didn't. He said, this team's going to be good. We need to be good. We should be good.
And they finished second
and they finished second in the country. So you're right, Ronnie. You know what this does is this gets the whole – not that it's an excuse, but this gets the statement of – we need to upgrade in this area. That takes this off the table because you've got the best players, the #1 recruiting class. Now you just got to go win, and so
your outfield is the best in the country. If Josh Smith is healthy, he's one of the top 3 or 4 shortstops in America, which then allows you to be better defensively over at third. You got a lot of competition at second. You got 3 catchers coming in. You got a ton of pitchers. I mean, there's just absolutely no excuses for Paul Maneri's team this year, as they will be big-time expectations. Omaha or bust as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and the bad thing is that a lot of times it's for LSU, it's Omaha or bust. This is like I'm telling you, this is like 2017. It wasn't just Omaha or bust then. It was, let's get to Omaha and we got to make some noise. And they did. Of course, they didn't finish it off that year, but the expectations are there, and they, as Coach Maneri says, they're not sneaking up on anybody. The bullseye is squarely on their back. And so they need to play. And I don't know if we'll catch this on the next break. I do want to hit on Alex Bregman and just what he's been doing and the numbers he's been putting up.
Yeah, we'll talk about some pro baseball when we return, as LSU may have Alex Bregman Probably not going to win the MVP in the American League. That's going to go to Martinez with Boston, but he'll be right there at second or third. And then, oh, by the way, Nola's still in top 3 contention for the Cy Young. So we'll talk some pro baseball. By the way, interested in Eric Walker. Remember, he was a freshman All-American 2 years ago. Didn't lose a game or only lost one. Yeah. Sat out all of last year. He is the X factor, in my opinion. Can he be like he was, or is he that surgery and sitting out a year going to keep him on the shelf? Be interested to see. All right, Sports Shorts. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Get out of here.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel. On
I was trying to use some Clint Black.
1049 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Turns out it's a music video, so it takes a little while to get going. And speaking of, we're killing time, baby.
You were the first thing that I thought of when I thought I drank you off my mind.
I mean, we've got to have the pre-production meeting to get these bells and whistles worked out, because that was the worst comeback from a break in the history of the show.
Maybe ever.
History of the show.
But that's a tune. I can't wait till he plays that. Just, you know, the alcohol still hadn't settled in, Ron. I hope you know that. It's just...
You went to the concert last night.
I don't remember him singing that song, and I want to hear him sing it again
well, let's
for me
hope
one
your
day.
wife recorded it on her iPhone, because obviously you were loaded.
I mean, geez, it was a fun night. Look, anytime I go to the Low Bears, it's a great night. I'm sorry, okay?
Obviously, his car doesn't make 88 miles an hour.
Or we don't take the car. We Uber. We get home. I mean, we got home late. We did the Waffle House thing late last night. I'm still feeling that. I mean, just give me a break.
Oh, my goodness. You can't even remember where you were last night. All right, so Alex Bregman. We were going to talk Alex Bregman. You know, being two LSU baseball guys, what he's doing is incredible. Now, no disrespect to Altuve, okay? Altuve's the face of the franchise. He's the reigning MVP.
Is he really?
You know, he's the face of the franchise. He's the MVP from a year ago. He's been there for like 10 years with the Astros. I mean, he's a lifer, right? I mean, the guy was there when they were terrible, and he, you know, winning Gold Gloves and all that. Silver Slugger Award winner. I mean, Altuve's the dude, okay? But Alex Bregman is becoming Robin to his Batman. And, you know, Altuve's still hitting like 320, 330. He's like second or third.
318.
Okay, so he's going down a little
right there.
But he's like third or fourth in the league in batting average or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still playing a great defense and all that. And he was hurt a little bit this year. But what Alex Bregman is doing is incredible. And the fact that he's doing it so quickly, that's the part. I would have been shocked if Bregman would have done this 6 years from now in the middle of his career. But the fact that he's doing it basically year 2.5 is amazing.
Well, you're right. I mean, anytime you jump from level to level, it gets harder to do the things at a consistent level. I mean, like from high school to college, it's hard. That's why I'm amazed a lot of times, even at freshmen in college, when they figure it out so quickly, because it's a different. You're facing guys that can really pitch. You know, not just one guy every maybe month like you do in high school. And then when you make the jump from college, and I would say college, you know, to minor league ball, but then, you know, there's some really good ones in minor league ball. But then when you make the minor league jump to to professional, I mean, Major League Baseball, I mean, sometimes you're getting maybe a pitch to hit in an at bat, maybe one pitch. And so you've got to be so fine and so perfect. And Alex Bregman has been just unbelievable. And like you said, to do it so quickly, he just has a very mature approach to the plate. Coach, I'm going to give you some stats. Now, look, Altuve is leading the team in a 318 batting average. Bregman's not very far behind him. He's right under 300 at 296. Yeah. You ready for this? He leads the Astros in runs scored, hits, doubles, homers, RBIs, and walks. 6 offensive statistic he leads in, and he's got 1 triple. The leader's 3, so I mean, he's not far behind there. And he's got, by the way, 10 stolen bases. That's only 5 behind Altuve for most stolen bases on the team. I mean, he's doing it all. I agree. You know, I do agree with you. Altuve's probably the face of this team, of this organization. But man, Bregman's right behind him. I mean, he's not far off, and just being from LSU, being so close right there in Houston. I mean, every time you look on Facebook or a highlight, it's Bregman doing something else. Right. I mean, it's just incredible. It doesn't hurt. Look, it doesn't hurt that he's playing in a very friendly ballpark right there at Minute Maid Ballpark with a short porch to left. But you still got to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and he's doing it a lot right now. 30 homers. That's incredible.
296 average, 30 homers, 100 RBIs, and in like 50 doubles and everything else. Yeah. And like he's one of only under 16 players or something at many. This point to have all the numbers in the same year.
Yeah, they did the thing. It was the 100 RBIs. It was 50 doubles, 30 homers, 100 RBIs. I think it was 4 of the categories, and they said he's one of it's in the teens. It's like 16 or 19 in the history of Major League Baseball to have all those numbers. In one season.
And by the way, and he also shows the diversity. 22 games this year he's played at shortstop, 125 games at third. He's got 2 games at second and 1 in left field.
Wow.
And to play that at the big league level is a big deal. Okay, we'll take a break. Come back. Final segment, Sports Shorts, next.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
You were the first thing that I thought of when I thought I drank you off my mind.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz.
That one so well. I mean, that one was just, I remember that one now. I'll tell you that. That one was one.
I remembered anything else. We're not, neither one of us are big tennis people, but
No.
you had a visceral reaction to Serena Williams and her temper tantrum that she threw at the U.S. Open Finals, where she got a game point taken away from her, and then after, you didn't like the reaction of she TOB'd it, transferred the blame.
Transfer blame, number one pastime. I didn't play for Skip Bertman. You did, Ronnie. But a lot of those Skip Bertman guys would pass that down to us and say, look, TOB. And I've heard that story a million times, and it's so true. When you're getting, Serena was getting her butt kicked. Let's just call it like it was. And she didn't, everything was just spiraling out of control, the snowball effect. And so she just had to transfer the blame to somebody. It had to be the judge. And so she threw a temper tantrum. I feel so bad for the girl who beat her, and I don't know her name, but it was her idol. Serena was her idol. She had dreamed about this moment forever of playing Serena and beating her in the U.S. Open. She did it, and it was just kind of At the ceremony, they were all the fans were booing, and it wasn't a good look. And to Serena's credit, she did say, "Please don't boo. This is not her fault. I wish it would have went a different way."
But she carried it on to the press conference.
I don't know
where she basically said, that this was a sex.
It was a
sexist comment,
right.
Sexist judge.
Yeah.
Listen.
I don't know about all. I mean, I just. It's like she's taking that too far a little bit to me.
A little bit much. But to her credit, to her point, they kind of let Johnny Mack and Jimmy Connors and all those guys back in the day.
That was back in the day.
I know, but I mean, even recently, they let them get after it.
Well, I don't know who's worse, golfers or tennis players at complaining about something. The thing about golfers is they don't have to complain to a referee.
You think Reed complains a little bit?
Yeah. At least he doesn't have a judge to go complain to.
Yeah. All right, he's Buzzy Heidel. He's the best golfer I know with a 6.2 index. We've got that verified.
Where we're going?
I'm Ronnie Rance. Want to thank Andrew Lopez, who joined us at NOLA.com. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts right here.